Welcome students. Let us continue our discussion on linear programming problems with simplex method with another question which says maximize z is equal to 3x1 plus 2x2 subjected to 2x1 plus x2 less than equal to 2, 3x1 plus 4x2 greater than or equal to 2 and x1 x2 greater than equal to 0. So you must have observed that there is one constraint with less than equal to sign and one constraint with greater than equal to sign. We will proceed as per our regular steps. So first step is to change this inequalities into equalities by adding some positive or negative variables. Let us start with that. With the first equation we will have 2x1 plus x2 plus s1 is equal to 2. So here s1 is being added to equation 1 to remove the less than equal to constraint of equation 1. Similarly, if I want to remove the greater than equal to constraint, I have to subtract some variable from this equation such that it converts into a equal to equation. So you can see here I have done 3x1 plus 4x2 minus of s2. Because there was greater than equal to sign, we have to subtract some variables such that it becomes equal to on the right hand side. And now I will write x1, x2, s1, s2 greater than equal to 0. Next step is to make a simplex table for the first iteration. So I will make a table here. Next step is to incorporate this added variables in the objective function such that it should not affect the objective function. So we have already seen that we will introduce this s1 and s2 in the objective function with a coefficient as 0. So with that I will have maximize z is equal to 3x1 plus 2x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2. After doing all this, next step is to form a simplex table with the given variables. So I will form a table with the variables x1, x2, s1, s2 and will write also b. Next step to write the corresponding coefficients. So I will write 3, 2, 0 and 0. Next write up the coefficients from the given equations. So it will be 2, 1, 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, 0, minus 1 and 12. After this we identify which of the variables are making identity matrix so that it becomes our basic variable. Now if you observe the entire table, you will find the initial column or the first column of the identity matrix present, that is 1, 0. So it is for sure that S1 will become our first basic variable. For the second variable, there is no 0, 1 available. So as there is no 0, 1 available, now we will have to introduce a variable having 0, 1 in it. And this variable will be known as artificial variable. This is known as artificial variable because this was not available in the actual question, but we have added it to balance the equation or to find out what will be our initial basic variables. So I will add this artificial variable name namely as a1. So if a1 is there, if there is a1 which is artificial variable, the coefficients corresponding to it will be 0 and 1 because we want 0 and 1 to complete our identity matrix. Now next step will be, we have already entered 0 and 1, that means this will come here as my basic variable. Now as we have introduced this variable a1, we have to also make the corresponding changes in the equation. Now you can see that this a1 has a coefficient of 0 in equation 1 and 1 in equation 2. So what I will do, I will make this effect of a1 in equation 2 as 3x1 plus 4x2 minus s2, and then I will introduce this variable a1 as plus a1. I am just incorporating this a1 which we have just introduced in the equation 2 because it has coefficient of 1 in equation 2. One more thing worth noting is we have introduced this artificial variable just to make this as identity matrix, and we will start the solution with basic variables as s1 and a1. So as this is artificial variable, this is not desirable in our final solution. So artificial variables should not appear in our final solution, or we can say it is not desirable in our final solution. Now keeping this concept, keeping this point in mind, now let us incorporate this a1 in the objective function. So now let us say I am introducing this a1 in objective function as like this, a1 plus a1. Now we want what will be the coefficient of this a1 in this objective function. Remember I have said that this A1 should not be included in our final solution. So let me introduce a coefficient of m with A1, where I will say that m is a very big number and tending to infinity. Now, if this number m is tending to infinity and it is multiplied by A1, so guaranteed it will be a greater number, and plus this greater number will definitely affect our solution on maximization. We have the term, or we have to do maximize this objective function. So if there is some term which is in plus, that will guarantee come in the objective function, or that will surely reflect in our objective function. So now, keeping this in mind that we don't want this A1 should be appearing in the final answer, what I will do, I will just make a change of this, of the positive sign to the negative sign. Now what happens? M being a big number tending to infinity, MA1 is a highly negative number, and highly negative number, because we are solving a maximization problem, this will be eliminated, which is not desirable. The one which is giving highest negative should not come in our maximization problem. Hence, we always introduce this m with a negative sign in our maximization problems. And this type of method in which we introduce a number which is very greater and tending to infinity, that is m, hence this method is also known as a big M method for solving the. Now proceeding forward in the similar manner, what we write here, we write here what is the coefficient of this variable in the objective function, which we have now seen that it will be minus m. So I will write minus m here, and also as this S1 and A1 are making the identity matrix, this will become our basic variable. So it will be S1 and A1 here with the coefficient in the objective function as 0 and minus m. Next step is to find out values of Cj minus Zj. So I will write Cj minus Zj. Also we know that the variables which are basic variables has a value 0 of Cj minus Zj. So I will write directly for S1 and A1 as 0. Next is to calculate the value at this particular position. So what I will do, it's Cj. So Cj for this particular column is 3 minus Zj. Zj will be 0 multiplied by this 2. So it will be 0. Then plus minus 3 into m. So it will be minus 3m. So if I do the effective calculation of this entire algebraic expression, I will get answer as 3 plus 3m in this particular position. Similarly, I can calculate for this position and this position also as the values 2 plus 4m and minus m respectively. Now what is our next observation? What is our next step? Next step is to observe which is the highest positive value of Cj minus Zj. Do remember that we have said m is a very high positive number which is tending to infinity. So m being a highly positive number, 4m will always be greater than 3m. Hence I will say that this particular entity or this particular value is the highest positive number of Cj minus Zj. And as it is highest positive, this will enter into a solution for the second iteration. Now, as this is entering our solution, some variable has to leave the solution. So let us find that which will be the variable which will be leaving the solution. For that we find out ratio. Ratio is the value of b divided by the value in this particular corresponding column. So it will be 2 by 1, that will be 2, and 12 by 4, that will be 3. The lowest in the ratio is 2, which is belonging to the variable S1. Hence we will say that this S1 will be leaving the solution. So now what is my conclusion? My conclusion is S1 is leaving the variable, whereas X2 will be entering the variable. With this, let us proceed to our next iteration. For next iteration, first we need to find out what will be our key element. So key element is the intersection of the outgoing and incoming variable. So this is the intersection value at the incoming and outgoing variables. Hence, this will be termed as my key element. For second iteration, what you need to do? we need to first replace the incoming and outgoing variable. Hence, this S1 will be replaced by this X2. And also, this key element should be made 1, which is already 1. Hence, I can repeat this row entirely in the next iteration. So let us do that. So forming a table again, you can see that I have replaced this X2 with S1 with its corresponding coefficient of 2 from the objective function, and also I have repeated the first row because the key element itself was already 1. Next step, with the basic knowledge, we know that the variables which are the basic variables forms an identity matrix in that order. So for that, with that logic, I will complete this 1 0 and 0 1. Next is to find the values at this particular positions, for which I can use my cross multiplication technique and find the values as -5, -4, -1 and 4 respectively. After this, next step is to find out the values of Cj minus Zj. So for Cj minus Zj, again we know that the variables which are basic has Cj minus Zj value as 0. Hence I will write directly 0 in columns of x2 and a1. Next step, calculate the Cj minus Zj for this particular positions. Again I can use the cross multiplication technique and find the values as -1 minus 5m, -2 minus 4m and -m. Now what is our observation? Our observation is all the values of Cj minus Zj are either negative or 0. Hence we can say that the solution has been terminated and we have reached to the optimum one. But one point worth observing is, in spite of Cj minus Zj having 0 or negative values, that means our solution has terminated, this a1, this artificial variable a1 has remained in the solution. And initially when we have started with the problem, we have said that the artificial variables should not be a part of solution. So what we will write? We will write that the artificial variable remains in the basic solution, hence the solution is infeasible. So what is now our conclusion? That our conclusion is, if the solution has terminated because of Cj minus Zj being 0 or negative, but then too the artificial variable remains in the solution, we will say that the solution is infeasible solution. And with this we have completed the problem. So till now we have seen all the 4 cases of simplex. The first one was alternate optimum solution, in which the Cj minus Zj value for the variable apart from the basic variable comes out to be 0. In second case, we have seen the degeneracy, wherein the ratio column has 2 or more same values, so that will be termed as degenerate solution. Third case, we have seen the unbounded solution, in which there is some variable which is ready to enter the solution, but there is no variable which is available for leaving the solution. Hence we will say that the solution is unbounded one. And in this case we have seen that when Cj minus Zj value are negative or 0, that means solution has terminated, and then too the artificial variable remains in the solution, so we say that the solution is infeasible.